best minds of my generation woke up in a world of pain. Born to suffer, hurled into being. Too late for sunny revolutions, blithe endings, or summers of love. Occult sparks buried spinning in recombinant seeds, flesh tossed indiscriminate with the bathwater of mental institutions gutted to wash out the stains of improbable histories, whose greatness scattered on the manufactured wind of a massive, mutant, multi-level, attention-mongering pyramid scheme with the mystic eye of predatory sexual desire staring at us everywhere in the most sacred spaces all this time, from the apices of political righteousness in a frame of purely self-referential fame and success. We came trailing fumes of glory, straddling beams of failing light. Freak comets reappeared, searing the firmament, embezzled with alien fuels and rare minerals, there for the taking, night after night. Irresistible the snatch of salvation, imperceivable the surveillance of the seer, relentless and random like missiles, blown, omnidimensional, in black blossoms and infrared blooms. Fake meteors paint news from the hereafter, own the cathedral of the sky. Oh, come near to hear our cries of excitation, our surpassing reappropriation of the same old ground by the ashen waves, the ancient gamble satisfied. Starry-eyed babes we were, goddesses and gods in human breasts, essential existences trapped in codependent mazes, bouncing off insides of finite curved surfaces, groping away through blind circumstances, in rainbow bodies imprisoned along arcs bending towards blank purposes with entangled intents, turning this way and that, luring this one or that as furry objects of study, freshly plucked from our broods, indebted intelligences to implacable goods and services chained, forsaken, and so down the grid in pragmatic bouquets, replicating impregnable fortresses. Our hearts, re-engineered, prefigured, and deployed upon the bloodless fields, bold as ice, sympathetically connected in despairing arrays. Flowers were empowered then, as networks of the dawn, brimmed with jubilance in great expectation, and buzzed bees did a little dance, reporting our coordinates to the heavy hives of our mother's land and father's country. And wanton birds of morning crashed parties in the trees, and the chanting of cicadas rippled the shock waves through the humble heat of lowly afternoons in fractal branches, forming canopies of organic thunder and bearing tongues of catalytic fire. We lit camp on the beach to be among the peerless offerings that limn the elder sphere and free our feral vows and drink the mysteries of songs on spiritual wings, soaring over the horizon of a delusion or a dream. And we quavered on the sand of universes and conjuncted the primordial equations, linking soul with soul and earth with space and animal with angel. All the treasures one could ever wish for in our biochemistry. Writhing trains of bliss we followed to their logical conclusions, and we flowed into the channels of our choosing, never again to lose that deeper sense of awe that spills the jewels of well-made music, nor let the secret form of things escape our final tending. For the guru grew among us, and the world itself was our paradise. It was a grand adventure to be alive and make matter with our minds, and without pretense to pretend that our best efforts would work wonders and slay the trouble, even as our world was ending. Sublimely measured in their pace the revolutions and gyrations of warm bodies on the exoplanetary plane, subtlest sources of influence on earthly matters and the ripeness of cycles, rivers underground in realms unfazed, accelerate, delivering the damned wake of centuries in whales of creation to radical receptors in the center of crack skulls, eternally exalted on the shores of the supramental, under the sacrificial surface of our mutual disaster. A nocturne of veins glows gold and crimson, the ramifying fingers of deepest design, as the vine twisted round one's ankle, or sapient color snaking under the brush. We reached out for an endgame to our paradox in glyph circuits scripted cursively by the glistening cargo of the snail, where quantum crickets croon their moonlit vigil. And the architects of the enduring abyss were nearly amazed. For innocent reason lay on a limb with the lion of consequence again. We materialized in a handful of glimmering dust, gave ourselves utterly away to less fortunate and needier space. Time evolved on our side. Culture justified our cause. We had myriad mindful machines and miracle molecules to rely on. Little did we know, or little care. Caveat lector and buyer beware. We might rhyme with the right side of history, but we broke on the woke side of time. Whole industries devoted to the reproduction of supernormal awareness, imperiled by the promulgating chasm of a sucking sound. Too big to fear behind a mask, or feign before a veil, torn asunder by the pillage of our hopes and the scale of our plunder. We contained multitudes, yet none could say what became of the souls who burned in vain before their day was done. Their lost languages of prayer, an air we could breathe, and pristine waters to swim in, and curious critters crawling in crevices and cracks, through surly soil burrowing beneath bare feet. We dared not speak their names, nor face other fundamental questions. Who really knew anyway whether a new consciousness was being born, or the guardians of the multiverse were merely mining for more non-renewable resources from our unconscious soup? Who claimed the darkest hour before the dawn? Who danced in their bleak underpants to crackling melodies in phonographic memories, turning the tables on a turntable. And who could argue with that? And so, to get along, we went along and swayed. And the microwave background radiation hummed, and mountains nodded in agreement. For everybody knows one thing that seems, and one thing that shines within all things, one lurking in the bowels of every happening, through boundless annals of forgetting and remembering, unborn and undying, directly perceived by illumined identity, undercover on the salt scent, intimating another sentient creature who counts in the balance, knows what they felt and what they saw when the lights went out, when limbs gave out, when flames of lustrous fury refined the sordid ore. One wonders, and one falls into the arms of the beloved, beyond blessed, falling far, far away. For everybody knows the one thing that saves, and how just one thing swallows the boon. And we cry, home is our home. Home is our home. Home is our home. Until the cows came home, and the seas and purple churned, and the evening orbs blazed against the tides, never ending. And we signified our lives to civilize the beast who comes in our sleep of ages. Thank you.